extra content on these tiny little things that didn't really make the mark beforehand. Or maybe I just didn't know it existed. Give me suggestions of trailers if you want. It's all going on around about now. Yeah, Twitch on TV. Though Poppy still goes alone, bursting into an actual original song.
Leave the only home I've ever known. Brave the dangers of the forest and before they're eaten.
Yeah, you can tell. Also, among this second spectacle, I guess now's a good time to talk about the strange pseudo-superpower that these characters have with their hair. Being able to stretch it limitless amounts, curling it into camouflages and hardening it into staircases. It's a little weird how it's never really addressed, and boy does it give these characters a lot more mobility.
You founded your kayak company because you love the ocean, not spreadsheets. You need to hire.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Indeed Instant Match instantly delivers quality candidates matching your job description.
Was that the Roblox oof sound effect? So in this one song number, the concept of adventure is just thrust balls to the wall here, I guess. Everything you could possibly imagine on transit happens. There's Geyserland being eaten into a bird baby, Splatterland, desert and ice, hurricanes and eyeball planets, surviving stomach acids, turning into allergic ball to continue forwards. This, again, is just random stuff happening for the kids that are just not paying attention. Though I do quite like the aesthetic of this world being all made out of fabric materials. Gives that woolly world Paper Mario kind of vibe. Anyway, Branch randomly shows up and whips the latest spider thread away, apparently all being part of the plan. Okay. And Branch actually has a formulated plan, as opposed to Poppy, who literally just has rescue everybody as the plan. I mean, come on. And to add more onto the obnoxious and annoying character traits, when going to sleep for the night, Branch obviously wants some silence, so she plays the sound of silence at it. I get that it's a joke, but it's still a douche move. Again, lesson 4, kids, sleep is for the weak. You won't believe how actual legit that will become as a rule later on in your life.
That's true.
Good for you, Branch. So they make it back to the secret tunnels, but not before a new character appearance, Cloud. Again, they don't really say his name. Apparently it's Cloud Guy. Excuse me. Demanding a high five for information.
Little Slappy, make Daddy happy?
Stop. And when finally doing it, Cloud proceeds to berate and make fun of Branch because annoying is everybody's middle name, apparently. And one understandable chase scene later, and they've now reached their destination. Cloud is done with his entire character's purpose, and so he's just gone. And I googled him more, and it turns out he voiced Rumpelstiltskin in Shrek Forever After. Discovering that was more interesting than his entire runtime on the film. So the two have made it to the troll tree in the center of Bergentown, where everybody is miserable and singing about it. Wait, I thought Bergen's never sang. Meanwhile, our little Prince Gristle has now grown into king. They kind of gloss over the king's death, don't they? Anyway, Chef now returns with a troll proposal to the King Gristle, bringing back Trollstice. Gristle accepts the troll's occasion, and Chef reveals her true plan. And all of Bergentown will get exactly what they deserve. True happiness. That actually sounds like a good guy thing to do. Could you imagine if this actually had the moral conflict of the perspectives of happiness? Like how she's actually trying to make her species happy? Ah well, she just wants to claim the throne. Somehow. So Poppy and Branch try to find the trolls, use some LED Rapunzel hairlight powers, and they find the king about to eat Creek the Guru guy. They fake out the bite a few times, skim over the fact that his father is dead again, and eventually Gristle consumes and the others are taken away. Though Poppy is still optimistic that Creek's alive since they didn't see him swallow or chew. And I guess it's too scary for the kids in the audience, I don't know. And adamant on that fact, Poppy then dives into action to the others in the cage, not Creek or Gristle or anything. Alright. So everyone's taken down to the basement thanks to Chef scullery maid Bridget, clearly the friendly Bergen of the bunch. And with her unfortunate lonely life, she cries herself to sleep in bed when nobody's watching, and then just randomly starts singing in a completely different tone of voice about her love for Gristle. Whatever happened to Bergens Don't Sing, seriously? Also, it's a cover of Adele's Hello, taking the easy approach again, you know? Anyway, with her now asleep, apparently in like the middle of the day, they revealed the cage trolls who, in their -2 IQ moment, break out into celebrate good times in the moment because they just have no situational awareness. And they really are riding on that annoying trope. And after arguing about Creek again, Bridget spots them all, everyone panics, you know how this goes, and the conflict is solved by Poppy exposing her love for the king. Though how she knew her name was Bridget, it's something you're not really supposed to think about.
You love Crystal too? You better back off, girlfriend.
Lame. So anyway, Poppy makes a deal with Bridget that the trolls will help her get a date with the king if she helps give access to Creek, even though literally the entire rest of the team agree that he's dead, so surely they'd just let it go at this point. Whatever. So there's a whole musical makeover number that's interrupted. James Corden is the big guy who shows up in all of these kind of movies and doesn't have a single good line in the whole movie.
Just have a good cry. Go, girl.
But all you really need to take out of this whole thing is that
Why won't you sing?
Because singing killed my grandma, okay?
it's a tragic backstory thing, which the others also then proceed to serenade him for, which seems a little distasteful to me. And then they just the plan, becoming a rainbow week for Bridget while singing I'm Coming Out. Interesting coincidence there, rainbows and coming out, but that's not what they're going for. And Bridget starts this. And the king is head over heels for her because it's all down to looks, kids. Lesson learned. And when debating what to instruct Bridget to do next, we get...
Don't you know anything about sarcasm?
I think I had a sarcasm once.
Oh, God. So the trolls then whisper in her ear all the things to say on their impromptu pizza date. And it ends with Branch actually being the romantic one of the bunch, and leaning a bit of it onto Poppy, even though it's not really deserved at all. I can get that they would...
I remember this scene as a kid.
end up together, but I don't know, having any sense of chemistry kind of would have helped. Oh hey, Creek is alive. How fortunate. So they move on to the ice rink with more uncomfortable innuendos, another pop song, and some visuals to keep the kids looking, and then we move on. Leaving behind a roller skate because the Cinderella trope wasn't ham-fisted enough, and they couldn't come up with their own original story. They couldn't already do the songs, let's just rip off a fairy tale while we're at it too. And they all rejoice on a mission success.
But they can't really
now
get
the
fairy
new
tale to the
conflict
public
can begin. Bridget
domain.
wants help for the big dinner
Yeah, that's
she's now being
depressing, man.
invited to, whilst the trolls have other plans. So she has a tantrum about how she now wishes that she'd never gone on the date because that's a natural response the writers came up with, and the trolls have to abandon her, going to the king's amulet in his room to grab Creek, which realistically they never really needed Bridget for at all, apart from the knowledge that they randomly, luckily got, I guess. If they were always able to just go to his room without her, then why was this whole thing done? And the scene plays out like that headphone gag you've seen done better before. Also, this pet croc really didn't get that much establishment in this film, did he? He was just in the background most of the time, and then suddenly he wasn't. After a thrilling chase scene, they open up the amulet to see it's missing, and the chef just magically captures them again. Just right time, right place. Gotta keep that plot going. And it's revealed in a pretty, admittedly fun moment that Creek is selling out the village to save himself. Though, wouldn't it be interesting if he hammed up more the guilt of that actual deal, and actually struggling with the idea that he's not a good guy? But no, he doesn't really seem to care that much. I do like, though, the double strangling joke when it's revealed. Like, that's mwah. So it's Trollstice again, prepping for the big dinner, where every troll in existence, bar Creek, is dropped into a cooking pot. I'll be honest, looking at all of this, I can't not think of another event where people were trapped inside an oven-like contraption, waiting to die. Dark, but I mean, it's hard to not. Poppy has her sad monologue and colour fades from her body, and everyone else follows. The Bergen are also sad, as is their character trait, but the king is lonely being stood up, and Bridget doesn't have her disguise anymore. And how do you resolve from this cold Toy Story furnace-type ending? Well, you just look at the cast list. Branch is Justin Timberlake. I wonder if he's ever gonna sing in this movie. Though actually, he doesn't really succeed until long into the song when their clocks actually light up for hug time, as I haven't established throughout this entire video, out of sync for the first time in this movie, even though they're supposed to be like a synchronized watch gimmick.
Oh, give me a minute.
May pusa sa labas.
Yeah, so I'm gonna need a little bit more time, you guys. I do apologize. I know I'm kind of ruining the moment of color and optimism.
What are you looking for?
My timeline is still kind of 2020. Everyone's still kind of keeping on the pessimism vibe. We still kind of haven't got our saturation back, and haven't even stuck my hair up to look like you guys, the troll design or anything else. But you know, just need a little bit more time. With everyone's hopes raised a little bit, the llama thing plays a harmonica, everybody hugs, and though they're not giving us, it's Bridget who saves them all anyway. But sure, she lets them escape. Poppy doesn't want to abandon her again, and it's settled. The The Bergen are eager for dinner, the king accepts he's been stood up, and the trolls are escaping
Ah.
through the tunnels just
Minerder
as
mo,
before,
kabisi
though
mo,
Poppy
clean up
still
that
wants to
eh.
return
Give
the
me a
favorite
minute.
bread. The pot is open to reveal they're gone, and Bridget is accused of eating them all, only for the trolls to have somehow teleported back to the castle from all the way where they were before under the tunnels, like 5 seconds beforehand. They dive onto Bridget's head and reveal that they were the wig and decide to talk to the king instead, explaining that those two were happy anyway with their pizza date and that happiness was inside them all along. And the Bergens all just accept that idea. What's the way to bring them all happiness without eating a troll? Well, of course, it's to burst out into another cover pop song.
Ah, what are you doing?
Good job, straight body. Good job.
Sorry.